Let's say for this effect, I hand the deck over to the spectator and they can give it a shuffle. After they're done shuffling the deck, they can hand it back to me, and I would explain to the spectator as I go through the cards, I would like for them to touch any card they would like. So let's say they touch this card. So in this case, it looks like we have the King of Hearts. And if the spectator wanted, they could even sign the King of Hearts, but it's not necessary. So we're going to take your King of Hearts and we're going to leave it right there and we're going to bury it right into the spread. We push in the King of Hearts and just with a little riffle, one card turns face up and that is the King of Hearts. That is today's effect. If you would like to learn how to do this, make sure to stick around for the tutorial. Before I get into the tutorial for this effect, in case you're wondering about the cards I'm using here, these are the Dead Hands by Xavier Spade. I have a deck review on these, so I will leave that in the description. So this effect is actually something I put together. Now, I can't find any videos or books on this, but if you know if it's out there in the world, please leave a comment letting me know so I can update the description. But until someone actually lets me know, I'm going to claim this as an original. So there are a few moves you need to know. The first move you need to know how to do is the convincing control. So if you don't know how to do that, I will leave a link in the description. And the last thing you're going to need to know how to do is some sort of cut where you can bury the packet right inside of the deck. And I suppose the last thing, which is optional, because I will show you another way you can go about it, is the pinky count, because you're actually going to be catching a break or two. So once you know all of those, or you're at least comfortable with those, we can get into the tutorial. And once again, everything will be linked in the description. So starting this off, the spectator can shuffle the deck. And guessing you already know the convincing control. You're gonna start off with the convincing control. So you're gonna ask the spectator to touch any card as you go by. So let's say they touch this card, and you're just gonna line up with the card above it for the convincing control. But this time, once you have the card lined up, you're gonna continue turning your hand over, except moving the card up and just turning your hand up this way. You're gonna turn your entire hand over. So we go through, they touch this one. As I lift my hand up, I just square up with the card above it and I turn it over. And I'm just going to line up this double with the edge of this deck. And notice how my thumb can pinch down as well. So in this case, the Jack of Hearts, and you're going to want this top spread to actually be spread out, because this bottom card is going to cover most of the dirty work here. So when you're talking and misdirecting, you're going to want to catch a break below this Jack. That's the first way you can do this. I usually do the pinky count, okay? So I'll teach you with the pinky count, and then I'll teach you one more way you can go about this. So you have your jack, because maybe you're talking, whatever. You can just go ahead, turn your wrist in, and do a pinky count. Maybe you hand them a pen to go ahead and sign the jack, and when they're uncapping the pen, you just go ahead and just pop down the jack. So once the jack is good, you say, okay, let's take the jack, and here's the move you're gonna do. You're gonna come over with this spread, and this bottom card is gonna line up once again with this double, and clamp down with your thumb, meaning that your fingers are going to go beneath that jack right here because that had the pinky break and you're going to do a wrist kill. So now this jack is lined up with this card like a double, okay? So a few things you want to keep in mind here is the following. The first thing is when you go ahead and you get your break, you don't want to just go ahead and take it off because you might end up flashing like this. So what I do is I come over and I line everything up the best I can, but I pinch down with my thumb. And then I can take off the spread and I can continue talking because all they know is you just loaded the bottom card on. So therefore I can come in and I can grab this double and I can lift up everything, okay? Meaning the card is pretty much lined up, but even if there is a little bit of card showing, it's not like that. That's the first thing. The second thing here would be you come over and you line up everything. You're going to grab the double. Don't just pull away because now they see the second card, okay? So what you're going to want to do is actually grab it and then wrist kill away. So just turn this wrist away. So the bottom card is here and you just do this. That is based off of the KM move, which I will leave a link in the description for. And the last thing is when you grab this, you don't want to accidentally go ahead and either flash the jack here, okay, the card differently, and you don't want to actually flash this card. So, what you're going to do here is the following. So we have our double, we have our break. I'm just gonna line up everything. I'm just gonna lift up the jack, you can see here, and hold on to it, and then wrist kill, meaning when my hand is down like this, my thumb is gonna push off what they think is the jack, it's the 2, and I put it right on top of the spread. Now you can turn your hand over because the double isn't there anymore. Just keep in mind the jack is here and that first card is here. So now you can do any one hand cut. I just like to lose these in the middle. So I do a Charlie air cut, which I will leave a link for. And when you put this in, you don't want to accidentally flash like this. So what I do is I have this and I pull everything right back with my fingers, okay? And I load it in. Meaning when I push in this card, now that jack is face up. Let's go over a different way you don't need with the break, and then I'm gonna show you that one move, and then that will be the video. So right here, in this case, we have the Jack of Clubs. And keep in mind, if your spread here isn't good, you can, square it together and then you can respread. It doesn't matter. You just want this bottom card. So one more way you can go about this is when you take this bottom card and you line it up with the jack, you're just going to come in and using your fingers, you're going to pull up on one card and pin it against the deck, and your pinky can now go on the bottom if you want here, meaning when you do a wrist kill, now you have the jack here and the 4 here, okay? I'll go over that one more time. So you have the jack here. You're just going to line everything up. Use your finger here to just pull up on one card and you can pin it against the deck and have your pinky here right at the bottom, okay, so you don't flash. Maybe your pinky wants to pull up the card very little to make sure there's no pressure very much. and then my thumb here will move this top card over while I risk kill. So it might look something like this actually. So we have the jack, I go ahead and I grab it, and I just line up everything here while I turn. But of course you don't want to show this double card. So something you can do there is we have the jack, we come over and we grab it, and now we can actually risk kill, and I can just pull this double card together, and then I can move the spread off and then back on, just to cover up any flash. Push this top card on, and now my fingers here are gonna move everything right into themselves, meaning when I cut this deck, I put everything in, and just like that, the jack is face up. I will go over that entire thing one more time, how I do it, and then that's the video. So we're gonna have a card touched. Let's say this one, line it up with this card above it while turning your hand over. Meaning now, even if it's not perfect, you're gonna put it on the side of the deck and pinch down with your thumb. So now this other hand you turn face down and you can respread. So while you're talking and misdirecting, you're just going to catch a break below the 3. You're just going to come in, cover up the 3 with this face down card, and you're just going to go ahead, and if you want to, pull down even more with your pinky to grab that double easier, but before you take everything away, risk kill with your hand. So now use your thumb to push off this top card, and I put it on top of the spread. You can put it in the spread, just don't put it in between that double, because you might end up actually flashing. Okay, so I put it on top, I do a cut, and then you can either just load everything in, or you can pull back with your finger so they were out like this. Just pull them back in, and make sure you keep this hand down the entire time. They think this is the jack. It's not, it's the 4. This is the jack, and also if you turn your hand over, you might flash this face down card, so don't do that. And also be careful at the end, you don't accidentally move over for the 3. So this is a little bit angle sensitive, but I think if you remember everything, you can get it. I load it in, I push it in, and now that one card is face up, just like that. So that is the effect for today. I hope you really enjoyed this one. If you are new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know if this is an original, or if you have seen this somewhere. And I will see you next time with a new video. Bye.